The cold metal floor felt hard under Ava's back. She opened her eyes slowly. Everything around her was gray. The walls, the ceiling, the floor all metal. A strange blue light blinked above her. She sat up quickly, breathing fast. "Where am I?" she whispered. She looked around. No windows, no bed. Just a smooth metal room with one door. She wore a black jumpsuit, something she didn't remember putting on. Her heart started to beat faster. The last thing she remembered was walking home from school. She was texting her friend. Then flash. A bright white light from the sky. And now this? A loud mechanical voice filled the room. "Welcome, Subject 47A. You have entered Alien Academy." Ava froze. Alien Academy? The voice continued. "You are the only human selected this cycle. You will face daily tests. Survive 7 days. Win your freedom." The light above her turned red. The door hissed open. Ava stood up, shaking. Outside. The room was a large hall. Aliens of all shapes and sizes stood in rows. Some had tails. Some had extra eyes. Some floated. Some had metal skin. They all turned to look at her. Whispers began. "A human? They still exist?" She looked so weak. "She will not last a single day." A tall alien with silver skin walked forward. He wore armor and had glowing eyes. "I am Commander Zeltron," he said in a deep voice. "You are not welcome here, Earth Girl. But rules are rules. You must pass our training or disappear." Ava stood tall, even though her legs were shaking. "I didn't ask to come here," she said. A few aliens laughed. "Humans. Always full of emotion," one of them said. A loud horn blew. The commander pointed. "Take her to the dorm 9. Her first test begins at sunrise." 2 smaller aliens walked her to another metal room. This one had a small bed and a food tray. Before leaving, one of the aliens said, "Try to sleep, human. The first test eats many alive." The door closed. Ava sat on the bed. Her hands were cold. She looked at the ceiling. "This has to be a dream," she whispered. "Or a test, or something." She opened the food tray. It had a green jelly cube and a silver drink pouch. She didn't touch them. She remembered her little brother, her mom's cooking, her school locker. Was she ever going to see Earth again? Suddenly, a strange sound came from the wall. Click, click. A hidden door opened, and something crawled in. Long legs, sharp claws, glowing red eyes. It looked like a spider, but bigger than a dog. Ava jumped back. The creature crawled up the wall and looked at her. Nope, not today," she said. She grabbed the metal food tray and held it like a shield. The creature jumped. Ava screamed and swung the tray. It hit the creature and knocked it down. She ran to the other corner of the room. The creature stood again, angry. Ava noticed something. The bed had a loose metal bar underneath. Quickly, she pulled it out. The creature jumped again, but this time, Ava stabbed forward with the bar. The creature shrieked and vanished into the wall again. Ava was breathing hard. She dropped the bar and sat on the floor. "Okay," she said to herself. "So this is real." Above her, a small camera blinked. In another room, several alien officers watched the screen. Commander Zeltron raised an eyebrow. "She used instincts," he said. Another alien said, "But no weapons, no training." "She reacted like a warrior," said a third. "She might survive day 1. Back in the room, Ava finally climbed into the bed, but she didn't sleep. Her eyes stayed open, watching the shadows. Asterisk, the siren rang like a scream across the dorm walls. Ava jumped out of bed. She hadn't slept. Her eyes burned from staying awake, but her mind was sharp. She still held the metal bar from last night. She didn't trust this place, not even the silence. The door opened with a slow hiss. A different alien stood outside. This one looked like a giant insect, thin arms, armor-like skin, and dark glassy eyes. Its voice clicked when it spoke. Follow. Test begins now. Ava held her head high, hiding the fear in her chest. Fine, let's get this over with. The hallways were darker this time. Cold fog crept along the floor. No other students were visible. Only her dot as they turned the corner. She saw the door ahead. It had claw marks on it, big ones. The insect alien stopped. Enter. Survive. Exit in 1 hour. Or not at all. The door opened. Inside, there was no classroom, no teachers, just a massive rocky arena, tall walls. Sharp rocks, strange trees, and something breathing in the dark. Ava stepped inside. The door slammed shut behind her, a robotic voice echoed above. First test, survival in hostile terrain. Warning, nitrogen monoxide weapons provided. Ava slowly moved forward. The ground crunched under her boots. Suddenly roar. A beast leaped from behind a boulder. It looked like a wolf, but with metal spikes along its back and burning yellow eyes. Its mouth opened wide, showing rows of sharp teeth. Ava ran. She didn't scream. She just ran. She zigzagged between the rocks. The creature chased fast, but it wasn't smart. It smashed into trees, knocked down rocks. Ava climbed a slope, nearly slipping. Her eyes scanned the arena. No weapons. No exits, but something caught her attention, a vine hanging from one of the strange trees. It looked strong. An idea sparked. She waited. The beast roared again and charged up the slope. Ava grabbed the vine, wrapped it around her arm, and at the last second, jumped off the ledge. The beast followed, but Ava swung around and kicked off the rock wall. Landing behind the creature, the beast was confused. She looked down. There was a sharp bone from an animal skeleton. She picked it up and ran straight at the beast's side. The bone hit its neck. Sparks flew. The creature collapsed, breathing heavy. Ava backed away. The robotic voice returned. Test complete. Time, 12 minutes. Strategic score, high. A trapdoor opened in the floor. Ava dropped her weapon and climbed down. She was shaking but alive. In the control room, the aliens watched the recording again and again. Commander Zeltron stood silently. She did not fight like a soldier. One officer said, "No," the commander replied. She fought like a survivor. Another alien, Xeric, young, quiet, and observant, watched closely. He looked impressed. She read the terrain. She adapted faster than most first years. Commander Zeltron turned to him. And she was never trained. That makes her dangerous. Back in the dorms, Ava sat on her bed. Her arms were bruised. Her heart still raced. She looked into the camera above her and said softly, "I don't care what this place is. I'm not dying here." Outside her room, a group of alien cadets whispered, "That human girl passed the first test? She must have cheated. No one cheats the beasts." Inside the shadows, someone else was watching Ava's room. Someone who didn't want her to pass the next test. Ava stood in front of a silver door marked Test Chamber 2, Mind Trial. Her body still ached from the last challenge, but this test felt different. The air was colder. No sounds, no warnings. The door opened without a sound. Inside, the room was white, too white. Walls, floor, even the air felt empty. Suddenly, Ava felt dizzy. Everything vanished. She was now standing in the middle of a giant mirror maze. The walls moved, reflections twisted. She heard whispers, but saw no one. Then, a voice spoke inside her head. "Welcome, Subject 47A. You are now inside the neural AI simulation. This is a battle of minds. Escape the maze, solve the puzzle, or lose your memories forever." Ava gasped. "My memories?" She reached out to touch one of the mirrors. It showed her. But not now. It was her younger self playing with her. Little brother on Earth. As she looked, the image cracked. A voice echoed. "The more you hesitate, the more you forget. Panic hit her chest. No, Ava whispered. I'm not letting you take my past. She ran. The maze was endless. Each turn showed mirrors of her life, her classroom, her friends, her dog, her mother's face. But they faded as she moved past them, as if they were being erased. Suddenly, she heard a scream. She turned and saw herself trapped behind a wall of glass, banging on it. No, the other Ava cried. Don't forget me. Ava stepped back. Her head was spinning. Was this real? A trick? Then she remembered something call on emotion. Aliens didn't understand it, but humans felt it deeply. That was her strength. She closed her eyes, breathed slowly. Focused on her brother's laughter, her mother's voice, the smell of pancakes on Sunday. The maze began to glitch. Walls flickered. Mirrors shattered. The I voice sounded panicked. Subject unstable. Emotion spike detected. Human mind is resisting control. Ava smiled. Yeah, I do that. Now she wasn't running anymore. She started drawing shapes on the mirrors with her finger stars, hearts, arrows. One by one, the mirrors began to show her the way. They responded to emotion, not logic. She followed a trail of memories. Now stronger, brighter. Her mind wasn't breaking, it was fighting back. At the end of the maze stood a tall black door. She touched the handle. Everything froze. The I voice returned, calmer this time. No subject has completed the mental trial in under 10 minutes. You are unusual. Ava raised an eyebrow. I'm human. Get used to it. The door opened. She stepped out of the simulation room, breathing hard. A few alien cadets stood nearby. They stared at her like she was made of fire. One whispered, "She broke the AI." Another said, "No one breaks the AI." Commander Zeltron watched her from the upper balcony, his face unreadable. But Zirek, the quiet alien from earlier, leaned forward with curiosity. "She uses memory like a weapon," he said. "That's not something we were trained for." Zeltron didn't reply, but deep inside, he felt something strange. Fear. Back in her dorm, Ava found something new on her bed. A small box. Inside it, a strange crystal glowing blue. She held it up. It pulsed when she touched it. There was a note. "You are not alone. Keep fighting." Ava looked toward the ceiling camera and whispered, "Whatever this place is, they messed with the wrong girl." Asterisk. The lunch hall at Alien Academy wasn't a place to relax. It was a battlefield with no weapons, only stairs. Ava sat at the far end, alone, chewing something that looked like green jelly and tasted worse than regret. Around her, dozens of alien cadets whispered, "She survived the mind trial. No human should have passed that. She's dangerous or lucky." But one voice wasn't whispering. It was loud and mocking. "Hey, Earth Girl," a deep growling voice said. "You forgot your tail back on your dirt planet." Ava looked up. An alien twice her size stood across the table. Muscles like steel cables, skin like volcanic rock. His name was Droger, and he loved making people feel small, especially her. A few alien students laughed nervously. Ava didn't blink. "No. Tail, but I brought a brain. Want to borrow it?" The laughter shifted. A few surprised gasps. Droger's eye twitched. He slammed his fist on the table. H-U-D. "Careful," Ava said, calm but firm. "Your ego might break the floor." Now silence. Everyone was watching. Droger leaned close. His breath smelled like smoke and metal. "You think you're smart? Let's see how smart you are when your bed melts tonight." Ava's heart beat faster. Not from fear, but from focus. He was planning something. He walked away, pushing another cadet for no reason. That night, Ava didn't sleep. Instead, she rewired the temperature coils under her bed. She didn't stop the prank. She reversed it. Next morning, the siren rang. Ava walked into the training hall, cool as ever. Droger was already there. Shivering, literally frozen. His armor was covered in frost. What happened to him? A cadet whispered. He tried to melt her bed. Another replied, but he froze his own. Xeric, the quiet alien observer, watched from the side. He tilted his head. She's not just clever, he said to himself. She's fearless. Later that day, a new challenge was announced. Team obstacle trial. Pick your squad. Ava stood alone. No one wanted to join her. She looked around. No hands. Raised. Until Xeric stepped forward. I'll go with her. Whispers again. Xeric was smart, respected. He had never spoken much before. Ava raised one eyebrow. You sure about this? Xeric nodded once. You think differently. I respect that. Ava smiled. Then let's win this. The trial was brutal. Walls that moved. Pits of fire. Platforms that vanished, while other teams relied on strength. Ava and Xeric relied on rhythm, signals, and brain. At one point, they used a broken wall panel to create a bridge no one else saw. They finished second, but the council awarded them first. Team 9 showed creative problem-solving. The voice sighed. And unusual trust. Even Droger didn't laugh this time. Back in the dorms, Ava found something outside her door. A small piece of stone, carved into it. Respect earned. Not given. It wasn't signed, but she knew who left it. A small, quiet victory. Not with fists, not with fear, but with grit. The lights flickered that night. A low humming sound buzzed through the dorm. Walls like a warning Ava could feel in her bones. She opened her eyes. 1:03 a.m. Alien time. The hallway outside was dark. Too dark. Everyone was supposed to be asleep. But Ava couldn't shake the feeling something was calling her. Then she saw it. Her tablet screen lit up by itself. One word appeared in bold, alien letters. Come. No sender, just a glowing map. A blinking red dot deep inside a restricted area. Called Sector 17Z. The Forbidden Zone. Ava didn't hesitate. She grabbed her boots, a flashlight, and tucked a small metal bar in her sleeve, just in case. She moved quietly through the sleeping dorms, past the guard drones, past the motion sensors she'd memorized over the last week. Her footsteps were silent. She didn't know if this was a trap or a test, but something told her. This was the real reason she was brought here. The Forbidden Zone felt colder. Walls here were older, scratched, burned. She saw deep claw marks in the floor. Empty glass tubes lined the hallway, cracked open like broken eggs. Ava whispered, "What was kept here?" Then she saw it, a door with no handle. But her tablet beeped again. The door slid open. Inside a dark lab, dusty, silent, abandoned. Except for one glowing screen. She stepped in. Click. The door shut behind her. The screen turned on. A file loaded. Subject 47A, species, human status, dangerous reason for capture, uncontrolled adaptation potential. Ava's breath stopped. Her name, her species. Her file. Lines appeared below. Human emotional response cannot be predicted. Neural structure resists standard AI control. Survival instincts exceed expectation. Subject may pose threat to galactic order if trained. Her eyes widened. She wasn't brought here to learn. She was brought here because aliens were afraid of her. She kept reading. Phase 1, observation. Phase 2, pressure. Phase 3, elimination. If required, her hands shook. They planned to test her. Then erase her. Behind her, a voice spoke. Now you know. Ava spun around. Metal bar raised, but it was Xeric. He stepped out of the shadows, hands raised, calm, watching. You weren't supposed to find this yet, he said. You sent the map, Ava guessed. He nodded. Why? Because they fear you, Xeric said. But I don't. Ava stared at him. Then help me. Help me survive this. Xeric looked at the screen. I can't change the system, he said. But maybe I can help you break it. He handed her a small chip. Insert this into. Your training module tomorrow. It will give you access to level 7 code. Ava frowned. What's level 7? Zirak's eyes glowed faintly. Truth. Later that night, Ava lay awake in her dorm. Eyes open. Mind racing. The academy wasn't just a school. It was a cage, and she was the lion. They were trying to tame or kill. She held the chip tightly in her palm, whispered to herself, if they're scared of me, maybe they should be. Outside her room, the hallway was quiet, but on a distant screen, Commander Zeltron watched the security footage. His face was still, cold. She knows. He turned to his assistant. Activate Phase 3. The next test will not be survivable. Asterisk. Ava didn't sleep anymore. She couldn't. Not after what she saw in the Forbidden Zone. Not after learning they feared her. Not because she was weak, but because she might be unstoppable. Every night since, she memorized patterns, guard routes, security gaps, training blind spots. The alien academy had cracks in its walls. Now she just had to break through. On day 6, during energy combat training, Ava moved slowly, not to win, but to observe. Every failed strike from others told her something. Every time the lights flickered during a duel, she counted seconds. She noticed Zirak always glanced at a panel behind the arena gate. A control point. When she left the room, her head hurt, but her mind was building a map. That night, while the other cadets rested, Ava stood on the rooftop garden, staring at the stars. A screen lit up in her wristband. Zirak. I have 3 friends. They hate the system too. Meet them. Midnight. She met them in the old air duct chamber, long forgotten under Dorm Wing B. Zirak was already there, along with Rilo, a fast-talking alien who once hacked the cafeteria bots to serve spicy goo for a week. Talon, a silent fighter with metal arms and a scar across one eye. And Nova, a small shape-shifting alien who once disappeared during a test and came back with someone else's keycard. They didn't say, welcome. They simply nodded that they had all seen something wrong, and now they had a reason to fight. Ava laid out the plan. This place runs on fear, she said. Let's turn that fear against them. She pulled out the chip Zirak gave her, the one marked level 7. Tomorrow is my final test. They expect me to fail or disappear. We're going to do both. Raylo grinned. A fake out? Ava nodded. I'll distract the command center. You break into the core systems, trigger an internal lockdown. Talon cracked his knuckles. And if they catch us? Ava looked straight at him. Then we make sure they never forget why humans were banned. The next morning, the training arena was packed. Aliens from every dorm gathered to witness Ava's final trial. The whispers returned. She made it this far? They say this test kills. She screamed like the others. Commander Zeltron stood above the arena. His voice was cold and sharp. Subject 47A, you have passed 5 trials. This is the last survival in the void cage. Gasps, even. Some of the alien cadets looked shocked. The void cage wasn't a test. It was a grave. Ava stepped into the cage. Walls of plasma surrounded her. No exits. No tools. Only one enemy inside. A hunter drone. Silent. Fast. Deadly. She closed her eyes. This is the moment. She took out the chip, pretending to wipe sweat from her forehead, inserted it into her wristband, and whispered, "Start the plan." In the command room, warning lights flashed. Level 7 code detected. Security breach in East Wing. Drone reprogrammed. Unknown signal. Zirak, in a stolen uniform, watched from the shadows. He smiled. Inside the cage, the hunter drone rushed Ava. She didn't run. She stepped forward. The drone stopped. Flickered. Turned. And smashed through the cage wall. Screams from the arena. Chaos. Ava ran through the broken wall, disappearing into the smoke. Talon and Nova were already waiting at the tunnel gate. "Let's go," Nova shouted. shifting into a commander's shape and leading the way. Xeric stayed behind, stalling the security feed. Rilo uploaded Eva's story, her file, her tests, the truth to every screen in the academy. Cadets all across the halls saw it. The academy doesn't train the strongest. It eliminates what it fears. They saw Ava's face. They saw the system crack, and some of them stood up as Ava reached the outer wall. Explosions echoed behind her. The control center was burning. The truth was out. And now, she was free, but she didn't stop running. She had a plan, not just to escape, but to return with more humans and take the academy back. They searched every hallway. They sealed every door. They scanned every life form in the academy, but they couldn't find her. Ava was gone, or so they thought. 3 days after the Great Breach, Commander Zeltron stood before the High Council. Screens behind him showed smoke, shattered halls, broken drones. A human girl, he growled. One girl nearly brought down our entire system. The council watched in silence. Then one of them asked, "Has she been found?" Zeltron hesitated. "No, but the final trial will be prepared. If she returns, she face it." Another counselor leaned forward. "If she survives again, we may have to change the law." Zeltron's fists tightened. "There are no laws for humans," he said. "Only fear." Far beyond the walls, hidden in the broken tunnels beneath the academy, Ava stood in the shadows watching, listening. She had returned. But not for revenge. For the truth. She stepped forward, out of the dark. A message sent directly to the council chambers lit up every screen in the academy. "I never wanted to be your enemy. But you made me your test. Now I'll be your lesson." She walked into the arena. No guards could stop her. No drones attacked. They were already reprogrammed. By her. The arena transformed. This wasn't just a battlefield. It was a stage. Final trial. Human versus the council's champion. A massive door opened. Out stepped a creature of legend, built, not born, steel arms, blade wings, glowing red veins. Project Titan-6. A weapon designed from the DNA of the fiercest alien species. No emotion, no fear, no mercy. Ava looked up at it. Then she smiled. "This time, I don't run." The crowd gathered, thousands of alien cadets, teachers, and officials. They expected a bloodbath. They got a revolution. Titan-6 charged. Ava moved not fast, but smart. She dodged. Analyzed. Used the environment. She led the beast toward the power. Pillars, 3 tall towers fueling the arena walls. As Titan struck, Ava rolled, climbed, jumped, baiting it again and again. Until finally, Titan slashed a pillar by mistake. The arena dimmed. Ava whispered into her wristband. "Now." Above the arena, screens lit up again. A full broadcast, recordings of her trials. Her file from the Forbidden Zone. Every lie told by the academy. The truth was public. No one could unsee it. Even the council froze. Commander Zeltron stepped into the arena. Furious. "Enough. This human dies now." He activated Titan's full mode. The beast roared and leapt faster than before. This time, Ava didn't dodge. She planted her feet and threw her last Tula. Shock spiked directly at Titan's chest. It hit the exposed reactor. Boom. Titan-6 collapsed in smoke and fire. Ava knelt, coughing but alive. The arena was silent. Then, a slow clap. Xeric walked out from the crowd. He wasn't hiding anymore. "You wanted to crush her," he said to the council. "She showed you strength." "You wanted to erase her," said Rilo, stepping up. "She gave us truth." More cadets stepped forward. Nova.talen. Even aliens who once laughed at Ava. They stood beside her now. The crowd turned. The old fear was gone. Now they saw hope. The council tried to speak, but Ava raised her voice first. "No more trials," she said. "No more cages." She turned to the cadets. "We don't need to fight each other to prove our worth. We can learn. We can build something better, but only if we stop fearing difference. One by one, cadets dropped their weapons and raised their hands. Weeks later, the academy reopened. This time, as a place of unity. The first ever human-alien program was launched. And its leader? Ava. She stood at the top of the training hall, wearing a new badge, not of rank, but of respect. Someone asked her, "What will you teach first?" She smiled. "Survival. Not just of the body, but of the soul."